Hello, this is the Tradesight Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 2015. Hope you're having a good trading week. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. Actually, here's the actual front month contract. You can see we're closing very near the highs, all-time highs again here on the contract, or not closed, but at least swept that area. Market did gap up on Tuesday and then kind of came back, sold off a bit. So the final numbers were S&P actually lost 3 points. The S&P cash index lost 3 points for the day, but the NDX was up 18 after a very flat session. You can see the little gap up candle here on the NASDAQ cash index. So if we gap down tomorrow, that's actually a floating island pattern, which is very negative on the NDX. Could happen in theory. I got stocks up 4 for the session. Biotechs were up 70. You can see that puts them well back above the recent action. Also gets us close to a 13 seeker sell signal on the biotech index. So that's what Rich has been looking at. Could happen. Here's a look at the Google. Down 1.5. Apple down 70 cents. Apple's been so flat lately. VIX closed down 0.05 a nickel. 13.25. Crude oil back down. Closed at 56.30. Not really down from the prior session, but down from the highs of the day. And gold up 9. We got the trend closing up at 1.63. That's a high close for the month on the trend. Brings the 10-day moving average up to 1.07. And NASDAQ volume once again weak, 1.55 or so billion shares on the NASDAQ. So, our 10-day moving average of NASDAQ volume is right around 1.55 billion, which is really poor. I mean, even obviously in January and February, that average had gotten up over 1.8. That's about where it should be. March spent most of the time in the 1.7 range, so now we're down here at 1.5. You go back to really last, if you ignore the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, last time it gets this low is in August. It was even worse in August, but this is certainly very poor volume. And the real thing to look at here is just the market. I mean, look at where we're at on the S&P. If you just look at the last 5 months or so, this is just nothing going on at all. We've got the green static trend line above as resistance, the red one below support, and that is that. All right, what do we have? Let's take a look at the intraday action, just so you can see what happened. It was kind of the tale of two markets. The ES gapped up, eventually filled the gap right ahead of the noon hour, dead flat after that for the rest of the session. Meanwhile, if you look at the NASDAQ gapped up, did not fill, and that's about as impossibly flat as it can get on the NASDAQ. Look at that purple line. That's the VWAP. The VWAP's flat the whole session except for the first 20 minutes or so. So that is just an impossibly untradeable session on light volume. As we continue to await what? Earnings. The last few sets of earnings are coming out. To Wednesday and Thursday are the bulk of them. We did have a couple today, Tuesday after the bell, but then Wednesday and Thursday we're going to focus on the bigger stocks like Google, Apple, Microsoft. Everybody will be reporting by the time we get to the close Thursday. Hopefully, with all these finally coming out, all the guidance that comes with them, the market can start to trade freely and get moving a little bit. This has been not the most exciting period in the stock market, for sure. I think new traders have got to be wondering what the heck this is all about. I would be if I was new to this, but sometimes markets go through these periods. In terms of data on Wednesday, nothing major. There are 4 bits. We got MBA mortgage index. We have the FH housing price index. We've got existing home sales and then crude oil inventories. Thursday, we've got the initial and continuing jobless claims, new home sales, and natty gas. That's the weekly number there. Friday, just durable goods. And it is a Friday, of course. That's all I see. So we'll just be calling it from the tape, trying to get through this earnings season, hoping for volume to improve a little bit each day. We've been having some good trading in the first hour or two, but that's about it. We haven't been making any calls in the afternoons because there's just been no action in the futures. Everything's stuck in mid-range and volume's light, so it's not a time to force trades. We will be in the lab helping you make money. Charts brought to you by eSignal, as I said, and have a great trading session.